Night 5 of the World Matchplay, the last 16. Dancing Dimitri was playing mind games with himself. What would it mean for Joe Cullen? Who would scream the loudest? Snakebite or Duzza intensity? And speaking of screams, a big shout out to Danny Noppert and Adrian Lewis. Who hits the jackpot today on High Roller Radio? Yes, we are fully into round 2 now, and what a start it's been to this year's event. Thrills, spills, and chills, baby. Take last night, for instance. Both Nathan Aspinall and Michael Van Gerwen KO'd the world number 1 upset by Simon Whitlock, and it was a romp. 11-4 the final. Game Day tweeted Daryl Gurney, I take on VVDV live on Sky in the last 16. And there you see Super Chin first on tonight. 4 promising tilts. How about Duzza v Snakebite? Then in the headliner, it's 80 versus Nappy. I'll be watching on the edge of my seat, tweeted at Vintage Jackpot. A big fan of Adrian Lewis, as his Twitter handle would suggest. Here we go. We start with the muted walk-on of Daryl Gurney. No fans, no sing-along. A much shorter version of Sweet Caroline, and that was likely music to Vincent Vandervoort's ears because he came out gangbusters. First a break, then a hold on double 10, then he broke again. Great start, 3-0. Check out the early averages. Super Chin 102, Big Vincent way up there at 113 plus. Now Gurney did have a chance to get one of the breaks back in leg 4, but no, 3 wasted at tops. The facial expression tells the story. The Northern Irishman on the ropes. And wow, the Dutchman made it a whitewash first mini session with the 79 checkout, powder blue, powering on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0 at the interval. Banjo liked that tune. Big Vinny man, he said, you are on fire. And he kept burning the house down too, with 6 clear at the second interval. Gurney left on stage wondering how it all went wrong. A lonely feeling right there. VVDV is closing in on a first match play quarterfinal since 2009, reported the Weekly Darts Cast. 8-2 up and only 3 legs away. Go on, Vincent, replied Kelly. Love to see it, said Thomas. And there was so much to love for Vandervoort fans in this one. He led at one point 10-2 and eventually closed it out for the 11-5 victory. Really happy with the win, he said. I worked really hard for this. I cannot tell you how happy I am to be in the quarterfinals. It's a major achievement. The Devonator summed it up the best right here. Wow, wow, wow. This guy was footloose and fancy-free, and I wish I had moves like dancing Dimitri Vandenberg. I really do. Having fun, strutting his stuff, despite the fact there's no one there. Love it. Joe Cullen, his opponent, came out firing with some high-octane stuff. Nice grouping right here. There were 3 breaks of throw in that opening mini session. Rockstar had 2 of them, and he led 3-2 at the interval. He consolidated things with a hold in leg 6, punching out 74, cool and composed. Rock solid. Trailing 5-2, the Dreammaker found some rhythm, took the next 2. He was trying to stay focused in the heat of the match play, but this screenshot tells the story. He let the 10th leg slip away, and it was advantage Rockstar once again. Cullen maintained his break cushion through 15 legs, but in leg number 16, after kicking off with a maximum, he faltered. 3 darts on 32, gone. And young Dimitri took full advantage, pointing to his head again. Then, very next leg, big-time darts. Dimitri took out 104 for the lead, and he was loving it. That was his 4th leg on the trot. Then, leading 10-9 against throw, he found this, and it was Madhouse at the match play next. He wins 6 of the last 7 legs, 11-9 your final. This his match play debut, remember. I kept believing in my ability, he said. I love to be on that stage. It's time to step on. Well done, Dimitri, tweeted Richard Asson. Looked so nervous, then went 5-1. Love it. Match 3, last 16, who wins? Asked Charlie Gray with the poll, promoting our 3rd fixture, Peter Wright versus Glendaren. I voted Duzza, I like underdogs, but most people were taking Snakebite. We know who Liam Martin was backing. Come on, Glendaren, he said, all caps. crystal clear. Snakebite wasn't at his best early, but he was doing enough. Secured a break in leg 4 on the 76 checkout, actually carried a 4-1 lead into the interval. His problem? The outer ring. He was just 4 for 18 midway through the second session, 22%. This was for double 10, no good. And Duzza capitalized. He rattled off 3 straight, then 4 on this, the 104 checkout, nailed it, and yes, he would complete a 5-0 second stanza. Marched off stage with all kinds of confidence, had a 6-4 lead. But 14th leg, the tartan dead center, bullseye good on the 121. We got a big roar. He was back on serve with the darts. Durant backstage, dejected. They exchanged holes for 8 apiece. That's when Duzza found a scoring surge. He was sitting on the 9 the very next leg. Didn't land it, but he did break throw. Double 5, and look at this. Intensity at the match play. He was screaming at the board. He'd close it out the very next leg, a 90 finish. Yes, he won it on the outer ring. He really did, as Snakebite's cup runneth dry on this year's match play. Fighting qualities, he said, before adding, it's there for the taking now. Think the boss was happy? Charlie Gray, a big Duzza fan. Yes, 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 he tweeted. And then he said, absolutely over the moon for Duzza. That is why he is a 3-time Lakeside World Champion. Adrian Lewis taking dead aim on Danny Noppert in our final showdown. First session went with the darts. Noppy had them. He took out 72 for a 3-2 lead at the commercials. More match play intensity right here. You think he wants it? Yes, he does. They were still tied through 8. Noppy held on the 107, double 18. Incredibly, 15 points behind on the averages, but he was all square at the interval and all fired up about it too. 80, though, found a quick break once back on stage. The Shanghai climbed the ladder on the 120. He was pretty jacked up. Noppert broke back, but then Lewis broke again, and this time he'd consolidated for 8-6. It went 9-6, then 10-6 from there. 11-7 your final. Jackpot advances to the quarters, and you know he was shouting throughout the match, but I loved it. Show us you want it, and that he did. Vintage Jackpot was all smiles. Proof right here. There is love in the air. And there you have it. Night 5 put to bed. Here's what's coming up tomorrow as we kick off the Elite 8, Ratajski Smith, and then it's the Wizard versus Gary Anderson. It's heating up today on High Roller Radio.